Hi, my name's Sam Robertson and welcome to my audio abstract. Thanks to Rob for having me on. The paper I'd like to talk about today I feel is a really important one for both practitioners and academics alike, and it's titled Consensus on Measurement Properties and Feasibility of Performance Tests for the Exercise and Sport Sciences. The background of this test was that basically everyone in some capacity uses assessments or performance tests in their practice or in their research. And so we all know that ensuring that these tests that we decide to design or implement display an appropriate level of measurement properties for use within a population is really important that we have confidence in the findings that we obtain. What we actually did in this study was we developed a bit of a literature review of measurement properties and feasibility characteristics in the literature. Now, measurement theory can be a little bit of a dry topic, and so what we wanted to do in this study was gain the opinions of professorial staff around Australia, as well as high-performance managers and directors, as far as what their practical experiences had led them to believe were the most important measurement properties when undertaking practice and research. There was a list of around about 20 items that we came up with as a result of this process, and these are on the screen at the moment. Some of these will be very familiar to most of you, things like reliability and different forms of validity. Others are not necessarily always considered as measurement properties per se, and particularly things relating to feasibility. So if we have a look at the final list of 20 items that came up as a result of the study, again, this is the final list. These are the ones that made the cut. And again, those that are familiar with measurement theory will recognize that these ones down in the bottom right-hand corner, underneath the purple heading of feasibility, are ones that we wouldn't necessarily associate always with being indicators of the quality of a test. As an output measure of this particular study, we wanted to make sure there was something that was going to be of use for practitioners when working in the field. Again, this is one of the reasons we decided to publish this paper in an open access journal. And so the idea being that a person or an individual or a group of people working in an environment could pick up this particular document in front of you now and rate the quality of a test based on the presence of those criteria that we looked at on the previous slide. So how might this work in practice? Let's say, for example, we have a 20-metre speed test, which is a common test undertaken in Australian rules football, for example, which is my major sport at this present time. Some of the ways that we could actually look to evaluate the test could be extracting a number of the features that are included on the checklist, such as the 6 that are highlighted on the screen at present. So how would that work in practice? Well, for example, we could go through each of those criteria or these quality characteristics, for want of a better term, and actually start to rate our 20-metre speed test on each of those characteristics. So if we're looking at the content validity of the test, we might look at the extent to which that particular test captures everything we need to know about a player's speed. There's other examples on the screen for you there. I'll run through a couple. From a predictive sense, we might want to look at whether the 20-metre speed test associates well with in-game speed as measured by LPS or GPS technology. And then some of the feasibility items you might consider were how long it takes to run that test, how quickly can you set it up when working in the field. And even things like cost, if you're working not at the high performance level but at community level, how much equipment equipment costs when we're actually undertaking that test is another consideration you might look to ask. So in essence, this is the paper. This is readily available online for anyone. You don't need to have access to a journal subscription to access this. And so feedback is welcome as always. I hope you enjoy the paper. I hope you enjoyed the audio abstract.